So just talk to us a little bit, how did you first get into, tell us a little bit about your background first of all.
So athletic training, how did I get into it? I had no idea what athletic training was. I thought I was an athlete, played some sports, never had sports coverage at all. I played volleyball at a small community college and actually had my setter get injured and parents wheeled her off. I was always on track for pre-PT. And so when I went to get my undergraduate degree at Texas A&M Commerce, they said, "Oh, that athletic training program, that'll meet your prerequisites." I had no idea what I was getting myself into with, covering sports and clinical hours and all of that. But there was such a need that I felt for athletic trainers in the high school setting, and even at the community college, junior college level, that I just kind of stuck with it and kind of went off PT route, and then went to the athletic training route, and then I've been on this journey ever since.
So how did you get from that to USC Aiken?
So as you will usually call me, the enemy, my alma mater is Augusta State. So I actually graduated from Texas A&M Commerce, relocated from Texas all the way to Georgia, attended Augusta State, GRU, now AU, whatever they decide to call it these days. So that's how I got familiar with the Peach Belt. From there, I took an internship at Division I Missouri State. The cold wasn't for me. I really missed the D2 setting, so then I was fortunate enough to get connected with Brandon, and then he kind of said, "Do you want this job? I'll hire you on the spot," type thing. We had to go through the formalities, but then it was kind of nice to be back in the Peach Belt, back in the South, in the area, and then I've been here for the past 4 years, going on my 5th.
So what else sports do you cover here? And have you covered the same sports every year, or has it varied at all?
And a short answer, everything. We all kind of tackle everything as a team. My primary sports are women's soccer. I help out with men's and women's basketball, and then baseball. It kind of rotates depending on the needs, and if somebody needs a break, we kind of cover everybody. We're not gonna have a cross country runner come in and say they need help and be like, "Oh, Brandon's not here, so catch him tomorrow." No, we help everybody who comes in, anybody, everybody.
What's been one of your favorite, give me your top 2 or 3 moments you've had, being a trainer here at USC Aiken?
Oh, easily my first one is just the athletes themselves. So, sometimes, they might give me a hard time or not do what I want to say to do. But the athletes here are so respectable. They're kind, they're appreciative, and that's something that I was really missing when I traveled to some other places and worked with some other groups and camps. Is just how appreciative the athletes are. So they'll always come in and say, "Hey, thank you," or even if I give them, not great news, they're still, once they kind of warm up to it, they understand and they just appreciate what I do, and that makes my job worth doing. So that would have to be a top moment for sure.
They say athletic trainers usually have about the longest hours. Usually, your staff is there from 6 a.m. till about 8 or 9 p.m., 7 days a week, pretty much.
Maybe. It depends on the day, depends on the season. We make it work.
And how is that though for you? Being able to handle work and life outside of work with that amount of hours that you do work.
Balance. So Brandon's really good at work-life balance. So we almost have a rotation of hours. If he's coming in early, we don't need 3 people here early not doing anything. So we kind of break it off into shifts. And then if somebody needs to leave early, we don't need, 3 people here until 7, 8 o'clock, if we can have those rotations. So that's really helpful, is having a supervisor and a staff that kind of understands the needs of work-life balance. Other than that, it's just communication and making sure we don't get burnt out. And so that's another reason why USC Aiken has been really good for me, is because that work-life balance. We don't have to keep crazy set hours. We can have a rotation and communicate and fluctuate for what's best for the staff as a whole on any given day.
You also became the senior woman administrator here. So what has that been like here?
I don't remember the exact date either, but I'm going on my second term, if you will. So I guess I did all right. That's been good. It's a different insight into athletics, into the administrative side. Having a voice and listening into some of the conference decisions, and I'm a liaison for men's soccer, so hearing some of the different coaches and their thoughts. I've now been appointed to women's basketball as kind of the SWA liaison, just to kind of listen in and if need be, give my 2 cents and opinion. But it's been really good to see the different dynamic of athletics aside from sports medicine and athletic training, kind of what goes on and what we can do, not just for the health and well-being of the athletes, but also kind of mental, institutional, as student athletes, helping their just their overall experience, their student-athlete experience as a whole. And so that's been kind of nice to be a part of and have a voice and an opinion and to give my insights as an athletic trainer, since I kind of see and deal with all of those athletes.
In the future, are you thinking still with athletic training or possibly administration, or what are your thoughts going forward?
If I say this on camera, I might be held to it. It's always been a thought, what next? Do you stay in athletic training or clinical? Do you do administration? I don't know. I genuinely love what I do. I think you have to love athletic training, sports medicine to do it. We might have screws loose as athletic trainers to do what we do and put up with all the hours, but it's a possibility.
Boy or girl?
I'm team boy.
So we're gonna pay us for her daughter when she's born. Yeah.
And I'll have to be like, sorry, babes.